The Arizona-Mexico border, once considered ground zero for drug and human smuggling.
You get a variety of different people that cross out here. We've had some from different parts of the country, obviously. Lately, the trend seems to be a lot of backpackers just bringing in the contraband.
Hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, tons of narcotics, a dangerous and deadly trek north, an inside look at the U.S. Border Patrol and the search for missing loved ones.
We shouldn't be defined by death, but our desert's becoming a graveyard, unfortunately.
From the east to the west, our crew travels along the border. This is Arizona Week. Arizona shares nearly 370 miles of border with Mexico. There are two sectors that patrol the international line, Yuma and Tucson. The town of San Luis is just southwest of Yuma. There, the agency built a 3-layered fencing system, and in nearly 10 years, arrests have dropped nearly 95%. A testament, the agency says, to the manpower, infrastructure, and technology. Agent Douglas Choi from the Yuma sector. We're here at the San Luis border area. I see 3 fences. Is that the layered effect?
Yes, what we have right here is we're looking at the secondary fence, and then beyond that we have the primary fence. And then if you look right here, we have the chain link fence. And we have this here because we used to get hit very hard in this area. There used to be what we call them bonsai runs, and there would be a lot of illegal aliens jumping in across the border, and they would just try to bum rush us with just pure numbers. And we have these layers of fence here to deter that and to also help us have a response time, because once they come into this area and they get beyond the levee road, there's a residential housing that's very close, and for us, response time is very crucial in apprehending them.
That bonsai video that we see, it's pretty bold and brave of them to just a few, dozens of people hop over and make a dash for it.
Right, and at those times, you need to have the amount of agents there to make the apprehensions. And like I said before, the response time is crucial, because once they make it into housing, it's very difficult for us to track them in the urban residential areas. So that's why we have these layered fencing, and with better infrastructure, more manpower, and better work with other agencies such as the Yuma County Sheriff's Office and Yuma Police Department and San Luis Police Department through Operation Stone Garden. There's more manpower out there patrolling the border, patrolling this area to deter illegal entry. And if there is an illegal entry, then there can be a quick response time, because there's going to be more manpower and more boots on the field. And this right here, helps us with our response time as well.
It seems almost 20 feet tall. How likely is it that someone can scale it? Have you seen it?
What we usually have is on the Mexican side, there will be people that have ladders, taller ladders, and we call them the ladder crew guys. They'll have people that post the ladders up on the primary fence over there. People will come over with another ladder, a larger ladder for the secondary fence right here. They'll put that ladder up, people will climb over this, and then once they get to this area right here, then the illegal aliens are most likely on their own. And what they'll do is sometimes they'll put blankets on the barbed wire at the top, and they'll try to jump over the chain link fence. This process here, depending on the crew, depending on the athleticism of the individual, it could take a long time depending on the person, or it could be very short, very quick. So for us, we need to be here and patrol this area at a good rate to let them know that we are here, we are patrolling, and that's to deter them. But when they do make an entry, that's how they'll usually do it. And once the illegal aliens are across, the ladder crew will go back with the ladder so they can use it again. For us, when we get the ladders, it's beneficial for us, because then we know that we've stopped it at least for that amount of time.
People are still doing it even though you have the 3-layered fencing system here.
Right, and we think that they still do it because maybe they feel that that system with the ladders is assisting them. But for us, numbers-wise, we think this has stopped it immensely. The numbers for 2005, apprehension-wise, was 138,000. Fiscal year 2013, it was 6,100. So this layer of fencing, the amount of infrastructure that's out here, has definitely been a help in deterring and helping us apprehend those that still believe that they can make that illegal entry.
It works. I mean, this proves it. But there's also that element of danger for the agency, for the men and women who patrol this border region. Talk about the safety concerns.
Right. We like to call this area between the secondary fence and the primary fence as no man's land. And as you see, it's pretty barren. There's really no cover. When they do make it into these residential areas, sometimes our vehicles are not the most maneuverable there, so we do have different types of units, such as the bike patrol unit, and they can respond to those areas much more quickly than we can. And that also helps with our efficiency as well, because in these urban neighborhoods, especially with the traffic of San Luis, with the amount of people and pedestrians, a bicycle is going to get somewhere a lot quicker than a truck can.
So this is a typical Chevy that is used to patrol the border, but it's a little unique in that it's prepared for the worst case scenario?
Correct. These are what we call the war wagons. These have these metal plates outfitted on them. They're pretty sturdy, as you can tell. They're metal, and they're on the glass, they're on the lights, and this is to protect the agents and the drivers that are in here, because there are incidents where there are rockings, bottles being thrown, and these aren't the small rocks that people are thinking of, pebbles. These are large rocks. These are intended to harm the agents and the vehicles. So for us, we like to have the agents protected, especially when they're in these spots, because if a giant rock were to be thrown and hit the windshield or a window, it's going to go through, it's going to hit the agent, it could incapacitate them, it could hurt them, and at worst, it might even kill them, and that's not what we want. So we want our agents to be ready for that type of environment, because like we showed you earlier, in that area, especially in no man's land, if something were to happen, you saw that there was not that much cover. If they needed to exit the area, they needed to drive to a gate. So these are here to better protect the agents, because these provide good cover, especially if an agent needs to be out on foot, especially in those areas. And if they needed to get to cover, then they know that if they get to their truck, then it can provide at least some sort of cover for that type of danger.
This is how real the situation can be for you and your agents out here.
Correct. This is the type of stuff that we face when we're out in the field, and we want to be prepared for it, we want to be ready for it, and we want to make sure that the agents are ready for it and that they have all the necessary equipment available to come back home at the end of the day and to accomplish their mission.
The Yuma sector shares 61 linear miles of border with Mexico, much smaller than the Tucson sector, which shares 262 miles of linear border with Mexico. At its peak in 2000, Border Patrol agents in the Tucson sector arrested more than 120,000 people and seized close to 26 tons of drugs. Today, those numbers are far less. The Tucson sector has nearly doubled the number of agents at its 8 stations throughout southern Arizona. Border Patrol Agent Brian Flowers representing the Tucson sector. If you would describe this area where we're standing at now.
Yes, this area here is part of the Nogales Border Patrol Station's area of responsibility. It is basically just to the west of the Mariposa port of entry. Right now, as you kind of see even behind us, we have our bollard-style fencing, which is some of our improved infrastructure that we've implemented here throughout Tucson sector.
You mentioned the Nogales station. How many stations are there within the Tucson sector?
Within the Tucson sector, there are a total of 8 stations that are subdivided to make up the entire Tucson sector Border Patrol.
And if you would explain for viewers what the area of coverage is when we describe the Tucson sector.
Well, Tucson sector is responsible for a total of 262 linear miles of border. That border actually extends from the Arizona-New Mexico state line all the way west to the Yuma County line, which makes up the 262 linear miles. And our agents are responsible for patrolling over 90,500 square miles of area.
I know in the past this area has been referred to as Ground Zero, a hot spot for drug and human smuggling. Here we are 2014. Looking back, are there some numbers that have been pretty impressive as far as what the seizures and apprehensions have looked like?
Yes, Tucson sector has always been one of the most busiest sectors throughout the entire country for the Border Patrol. Like I say, just last year, we actually seized nearly 1.2 million pounds of marijuana. And if you want to even just do a comparison, if you reflect back to the year 2000, in that year, we only had about 1,500 agents throughout Tucson sector. And that year also, we actually apprehended our most illegal aliens, where we apprehended over 616,000 illegal aliens that year, and we only seized 240,000 pounds of marijuana. Going forward, we have approximately 4,200, almost 4,200 agents throughout Tucson sector, and we've actually reduced the apprehension numbers to just over 120,000 illegal alien apprehensions. which, obviously shows by having more manpower actually gives us better operational control and situational control of our borders. So now we can even focus more toward the different smuggling trends and the routes these criminal organizations are using, which led to us being able to seize nearly 1.2 million pounds of marijuana.
I think a lot of people might be watching this and thinking, why are so many people coming through this particular corridor? What makes it so appealing to the people trying to come north?
Like I said, these criminal organizations will use a variety of methods and ways in order to make border incursions as far as enter the U.S. We've seen a lot of traffic now move more toward our remote areas, especially in our western corridor. If you look at like more of the Casa Grande, even Ajo, Border Patrol's area of responsibility. Basically what they're doing is, whereas years past, the urban areas were very popular. And that's one thing that we would see here within Tucson sector. We're one of the unique sectors where we actually patrol in urban, rural, and remote areas. And these criminal organizations will try to even cross these individuals in more remote areas where they feel they're less likely to be detected. So that means even some of the mountainous terrain and even open desert, which obviously are putting these individuals at higher risk, for anything bad to happen during their journey.
So Agent Flowers, here we are in a different part of Nogales, a more urban region. Describe this fence here to us.
Yes, like I say, this is similar here to some even our newer improved type fencing with our bollard style fencing that we have. Some of the benefits obviously you see of having it now compared to the old landing mat style is that, you actually can see what potential threats could be on the other side of this fence here. By having the bollard style, agents can actually know what type of individuals may be preparing to jump, if they're like maybe the numbers, how many people there are in the group, also if they're carrying any form of narcotics, also even if they have long arms. So that way agents will know how to appropriately respond to that incursion. The Bike Patrol unit, they're one of our specialty units that are in place to assist us in our rapid response. By having Bike Patrol units here in our urban areas, they're able to respond more effective than even some of our government vehicles by being able to get in and out of some of the traffic and even some of the alleyways that these criminal organizations would typically use when they try to incur into the U.S.
The terrain is very unique in that it's dangerous for your agents, for anyone who's trying to cross over. Is that correct?
Yes. Even out here, we're in the urban area. There does, it actually poses different challenges than compared to our more remote areas as we were before. What our agents know once we're down here is that agents literally may only have between seconds to minutes to be able to respond to any illegal activity that occurs. Because between this time here, by the time an individual jumps the fence, either over or under, they literally will only have between seconds to minutes to respond because that individual can attempt to blend in with the shopping tourism, shopping traffic, as well as potentially load up in the vehicle and head northbound without anyone noticing. So in this area here, we definitely will use expedited responses that we can.
Would you describe what these cameras entail there?
Yes, that technological piece we have there is our remote video surveillance system. The purpose of that camera is basically in place to basically detect any potential border incursions that may occur through the fence, or even individuals that may be attempting to move narcotics further north into the U.S. With that tower there, basically it's a tower that extends with 4 cameras actually on the top of the tower. We have operators that actually controlling it from our tactical operations center back at the station, and basically they're able to pan around and be able to detect and identify and classify any potential threats that may be in the area, and also be able to give agents awareness of any illegitimate and legitimate threats that may be posing.
That's incredibly helpful to you.
Yes. Like I say, our technological pieces are very essential and very helpful to us here in the Border Patrol here. Our technological advancements that we've had actually improves our ability to deter, detect, also classify, identify, and even resolve border incursions that occur.
You mentioned threats. This is a dangerous yet very important type of work. Can you describe what it's like for the agents out here, the boots on the ground? I mean, what some of the dangers are that you face?
Well, like I say, all of our agents, they face a lot of dangers when it comes to taking on this job as a Border Patrol agent. One challenge that we have, obviously, is even our terrain. We have some of the most rough, rugged, and even remote terrain that they have, especially in the mountainous areas that we have. Just where we are now, if you look to the west here, you have the Pajaritos Mountains and the Atascosa Mountains, which are very remote and rugged areas. The mountains here, even in the Tucson sector, and oftentimes been referred to actually in comparison to the mountains of Afghanistan as far as in how rough and rugged they are. And there's a lot of dangers and even things that can come to, obviously, to agents that are patrolling in these areas that's to respond to this illegal traffic, and also for the illegal traffic themselves, these groups that are trying to move into the U.S. through these remote areas.
This has been said to be the largest, busiest station, the Nogales area. Is that trend likely to continue, or because these numbers are changing, do you feel that maybe it's headed a different direction?
Well, like I say, the Tucson sector has always typically been one of the most busiest sectors, throughout the entire country. We have shown some great improvements, obviously, by seeing our apprehension numbers decrease, like I told you before, from 2,000 to where we are currently. I would say the improvement that we've actually have, I would definitely have to attribute it to the improvements and proper mixture of our personnel, infrastructure, and technology. So I definitely see us going in the right direction by seeing each year we're actually seizing more of these narcotic loads and even different narcotic numbers. We're actually seizing more of it. So therefore, we're using a lot of intelligence and like threat level assessments and also smuggling trends to actually find out where we should actually deploy our assets and our resources. So I definitely see our sector is definitely improving and making our border more safe today than it has ever been.
Every year, undocumented immigrants lose their lives crossing the desert. In Arizona, between 1990 and 2012, more than 2,000 people died. Men, women, even children from various regions of Latin America. Arizona Public Media's Alexandra Salazar has a story.
At the Colibri Center for Human Rights, we take missing persons reports and we try to compare those to the biological profiles that the Pima County Office of the Medical Examiner provides for unidentified remains. So we have a crisis here in southern Arizona.
When program specialist Chelsea Halstead says missing person, she's specifically referring to undocumented immigrants.
Centro Colibri?
Halstead's work at the Colibri Center offers support to families of missing loved ones.
Here we recognize that this is a constructed crisis. We have people dying in the desert because of the policies, the security initiatives, and the economic policies of the United States. So we have pull factors that are displacing people from their homes at the same time that we have security initiatives that are purposely funneling them into remote regions. So in essence, this is a tragedy that's been created.
An issue Halstead says stretches beyond any border.
Deaths in the desert affect all of us. They affect our community, and they especially affect the families of the missing and dead, who oftentimes can't move on, they can't move forward because they don't have answers. They cannot accept the death because socially speaking, a death can't happen without a body.
Halstead would like to change the conversation when it comes to border security. She wants the families of those missing to have their story told.
I think when people focus too much on the numbers, how many people are dying, well, maybe that's not enough, or maybe that is too much. I think that what we have to recognize is that one person would be too much, let alone 2,500. So when you have 2,500 people who've died in the desert and you have 2,000 more or possibly more missing, you have a catastrophe.
The Colibri Center works closely with government agencies, including the U.S. Border Patrol Search, Trauma, and Rescue Unit, known as BORSTAR. Kat Rodriguez is the intake specialist, tracking missing person information and working to make an identification.
They do check for apprehension history for us. They can provide fingerprints if the person's been apprehended, if we request it. And BORSTAR does execute searches if we have enough information. And they know a lot about the terrain in the area, and so they have been helpful in helping us narrow down. But sometimes at the end of the day, they're like, we're really sorry, this is too big of a haystack, too small of a needle.
Workers for this newly established organization, founded last August, know the trends of the desert deaths all too well.
Most of the time that people go missing is because they either get lost or separated from the group, or because they can't physically continue and the group chooses to move on without them. So most of the time it has to do with medical distress.
The center put data on this map. They say it paints a painful picture that shows deaths along the border.
Dr. Chambly took these GPS locations and mapped them over a progression of years, and what it provides is sort of a visual, at least for the period of 1999 to 2007, in this example, of how the deaths sort of exploded and where it's happening, specifically in Arizona. So this is, I think it works best just to sort of see it in progression, so I'll do it that way. But this is starting with 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. And then this map is from 1999 to 2009 that kind of shows it with the more detailed map in the background. We may not find them ever, or it may take years and years and years. And so the families don't stop looking.
More than a dot on the map, there's always hope for closure. For Arizona Week, I'm Alexandra Salazar.
Because some portions of the Arizona desert are so vast and desolate, the U.S. Border Patrol built camps in remote desert terrain, deploying agents to high-traffic areas. And though we cannot give away the location of one, agents escorted us to what's known as a forward operating base camp. Supervisory Patrol Agent Thomas Lyons, Public Affairs Officer for the Yuma sector, thanks for being here today.
You're welcome.
We're standing outside of what's known as Camp Grip. Would you describe to people what exactly this place means, what it entails?
Camp Grip is our forward operating base for the Welton station. It's one of the forward operating bases that Yuma sector has. In fact, the only one. It was put out here in 2001 based upon an operation that happened where 29 people crossed the border illegally and 14 of them ended up dying. So in order to get out here to respond quickly to the traffic that's coming out here, they deployed this camp out here.
This is sort of in the middle of nowhere. Has it served its purpose? Are the deaths declining because now there's manpower out here?
The deaths have definitely declined out here. I don't have any specific statistics as far as how many have occurred since then. But I know that since I've been out here from 2002 on, very few deaths have occurred because of the camp and our ability to quickly get to the area and respond to the traffic.
This is more practical for the agency in that you don't have agents driving from multiple directions, logging multiple miles a day. I mean, this is home base for a time period, and that's their job, is to watch for people and drug seizures. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct.
Would you describe a little bit about what this area is like? I mean, it's very remote, but you do see people walking through. Then you have smugglers bringing their contraband through. What are some of the things that you've seen out here?
Well, you get a variety of different people that cross out here. We've had some from different parts of the country, obviously. Lately, the trend seems to be a lot of backpackers just bringing in the contraband, as you were describing. Most of it is marijuana. The groups vary in size. You can get groups as small as 2 and 3, and then all the way up to, I've seen groups of 50 out here, so you never know what you're going to get.
Can you talk about the danger element that always faces a Border Patrol agent, but it's somewhat increased when you're out here in the middle of the desert?
Yeah, the response time obviously is a little bit more because you're so far spread out from the station. However, when you're out here, you're generally working with qualified, obviously, Border Patrol agents that know where you are, and there's emergency medical trained technicians that are out here as well. So anyhow, if there is an emergency, they respond to that and try to help out in any way that they can.
You said that there are seizures out here daily, weekly. Can you describe the frequency?
Every night there's groups coming through here, and like I said, sometimes they're to the west of us, sometimes they're to the east of us. We're working in conjunction right now with the Ajo station to try to clamp down more on this area because this is a high traffic area. The groups, like I said, vary in sizes, but the trend seems to be that more marijuana is coming through at this time.
The Yuma sector comprises the Blythe Station, Yuma Station, and Welton Station. It once was an extreme hot spot for drug and human smuggling. Here we are in 2014, some 10 years after it really hit its peak. What is it like now?
Back in 2005, we had our record apprehension year. It was 138,000 people. And this past year, in 2013 anyway, it was about 6,100 people. So the apprehensions have gone down significantly. Obviously with the technology, the infrastructure, and the manpower that they've deployed, such as the Camp Grip, it's been able to help combat the traffic that's coming through this area. So it's helped out significantly.
So representing the Yuma sector, you would say that this has in fact served its purpose. That increase in manpower, infrastructure, technology has all worked well.
Absolutely. Obviously in the summertime, you can't tell right now, but it can get up to 120 degrees out here. The people that cross in this area, they're told that it's a short walk to the other side, where they're going to load up. And anyhow, sometimes they're out here for 4, 5, 6, 7 days, just depending on the route that they take. but it can be 60 plus miles, again, depending on the route that they take. It can be very dangerous. There's a lot of the elements that you have to battle, and obviously the criminal organizations are out here as well. It is an interesting place to work, and it's an interesting place to try to cross, but definitely not a good idea.
You've experienced some of these situations firsthand yourself as an agent, having to help these people. Can you kind of maybe step out of your uniform for a second and describe what it's like to encounter these people who've survived these hardships out in this terrain?
Well, like I said, to bring this much water, to travel 60 miles is very difficult to do. I don't know if I could do it. It does take a lot, and a lot of these guys will fill up at different tanks that are here in the area, so they're drinking dirty water, and anyhow, it's obviously not good for them doing that. But you know, when you find somebody in distress, it doesn't matter what nationality they are, you want to help them out, and that's what we do. We have our BoreStar agents that are assigned out here as well to help us out. And like I said, they're the search and rescue. So when we do know of people that are in distress, we deploy our agents out there to try to help these people regardless of, you know, their circumstances.
And that's our program from the border. We'll send it back to the studio for The Buzz with my colleague, Christopher Conover.
The buzz around the Arizona Capitol this week was once again the state budget. The House moved its version of a spending plan quickly through committee on Monday, but when it got to the floor, it bogged down. 6 moderate Republicans initially sided with Democrats to keep the budget from being approved. They wanted more money for child protective services and the continuation of a program allowing school districts to convert some schools to charter schools. They held up the budget until late Thursday night. The budget finally passed by the House is slightly larger than the one passed by the Senate. It sets aside $33 million for district charter schools, keeping that program alive for 1 more year. Senate President Andy Biggs this week, however, passed a bill through committee ending that program. In the area of CPS, the moderate Republicans requested $15 million more than the Senate proposal. They got $3 million. That could be a sticking point with Governor Brewer, who wants more money to revamp the Child Protection Agency. The group also requested more funding for the University of Arizona. Specifically, they wanted $4 million to help the university get a veterinary school started. In the end, they convinced House leaders to give them $2.5 million. The Senate will take up the House budget bills next week, and that's the buzz from the state capitol. That's also our show for this week. Next week, we'll take an in-depth look at wildfires. For Lorraine Rivera and the entire AZ Week crew, I'm Christopher Conover. Thanks for watching.